What I want to show you this time is how to create designs. Not creating the design, but setting up the design in titanium and using the titanium to place the thing exactly where I want to do. I'm picking a very simple design here, and as we can see, there is a title bar. We have some icons in here, and also we have a tab bar. The tab bar we know from earlier studies, but the title bar we can find, but how do we place this inside? How do we add these elements, and how do we make it easy for us to add more or remove one of them or any changes at all? So the first thing I'm gonna do is actually to look at how can I place a grid. So I create a grid. Of course, they should all be equal sized for the icons, but you see what I mean? When I have created my grid, I know that I have some border space out here, and I know that my elements should be in a way so when I clip or change the phone directions, they should jump up and be on one line instead of two. Okay, now I know what my elements are in my grids. So what I want to tell you is, of course this is a tab bar, but what we use inside here is views. The main part out here is our window, and in here we have a view, and in that view we have one view here and one view here, one view here and one view here. So let's see how we can do that in code. I just go over and pick up my CommonJS first time project again, and I want to go in and look at tab 1 JS. Okay, in here we have our input view from the last time where we have our input fields, but we want to create another view, the view with icons. So we create a new file, icons view.js, and for that we will still use CommonJS. So let's just look in here and copy paste. And if you remember correctly, it would be icons view. Let's see. Our module exports. And view. So what we need in here is, of course, we need the outer view. And when I say the outer view, I mean this whole area, the white area. Because within that we have the other views. So that is our main view. So let's just call it main view equals ti.ui.create view. Like I told you before, this is almost like a div tag in HTML. So it's a container that contains all the content that we choose it to have. Okay, we create view, just like that, give it a semicolon. Okay, inside our view, we of course have width, auto, oops, comma, height, auto, comma, and then we have our layout. So if we choose to have every element we put in this window, this whole window, if we choose it to be vertical, there will be one and then the next one in a vertical way. But if we choose to say horizontal, we can have everything there. But right now, for the first window, the outer window, I'm not sure I want it. Here I want the layout to be horizontal. So for each element I add, it will be placed horizontal according to the previous element, from top left going, yeah. So now we have our div element. We don't have anything else. So if I just add another view, it could be an image view, which would have been perfect for this. It could have been this image, but we could also just have a view. Just so I can show you how the boxes is placed. So if I create, for example, the camera view, var camera view, ti ui dot create view, I have the possibility in here to set the width to, I don't know how big that was, but let's just say it was 100, and the height to, oops, $125, and I don't need anything in here. Maybe background color, yellow. Okay, but this view is not going to be shown anywhere. This view has to be placed inside the other view, and we do that by using main view dot add the other view, camera. And of course we have to return our main view from our function. Okay, so now I have one icon, the camera view. I want one more icon just to show you, so I'm gonna go for the tablet. And what color was that? Blue? I think it was. Okay, but that's not all. We also, if we look at our image, we have some borders out here. So, but we're going to look at that in just a minute. Let's just see this first. Of course, I will have to add my icon view in tab 1 instead of input view. Capital letters, yes. Good. And I'm gonna go down to, I'm gonna start out my Genymotion here. I'm gonna use my Galaxy S4. Start. Okay. I did some errors in what you just viewed, so I'm just gonna tell you what I did. I changed the width to 100% instead of auto. I also changed horizontal to be spelled correctly. And I added a dot between TI and UI. And after that, I got this result. So now I have two squares on my screen, which indicates the two icons that we can see here. The yellow icon and the blue icon. But they're not placed correctly here. So how are we going to do that? Okay, after a little work, I have come to this result. As you can see, I now have 4 icons or views. Could just as easy have been image views, so you actually have the right icons. And as you can see, what I wanted to do is when I change my direction, it will follow it. So, and as you can see here, it's working quite well. So what did I do? Well, I still am doing my icons view, and in my main view I set width and height to auto, the layout to horizontal, and then this is kind of my margins. So I'm gonna start 20 pixels from the top and 20 pixels from the left and 20 pixels from the right as well in my main window. So even though there is space here for a box, there's not enough space there because of the 20 pixels. You can see it if I actually set my main window, my main view, give it a background color as red. Let's try to run that. Then you can see the area that is available for the other views, the 4 views that I have in here. There it is. You see, so over here we have the 20 pixels, and in here there's no space for it now. Okay. We have our camera view, and with that I still have kept my width and height, the background color, and then I place some spaces in here, so it will automatically create the grid within this. I do have a change I want to show you. I've just done this with all the way down, and then I added it to my main view. So no change there. But one change I want to do is I want to keep all those spaces equal. So I'm gonna create my variable and call it spacing. equals 20. So, and then I'm going to use that instead of the other. So my grid, so I can change my grid very easy and only in one place. This is very important that you use variables instead of using constants inside. Because now I just can change my spacing to 30, and let's see how that looks. And there you have it. If I remove my background, there is a way to actually maintain the graphical views, a size that you can set for your spacing, so it will look alike no matter what kind of phone you have, no matter what kind of resolution you have. It's kind of calculate the percentage of the screen's resolution and then calculate how big your element should be. Because if you do, for example, text on a very low resolution phone, it looks just fine, but if you go on high resolution, you can't read it because it's too small. The screen area is usually close to the same, so the resolution is very important. So what I can use in here is something called 30dp, but we have to put it in a string then. If I'm using DP, which stands for density independent pixels, if I use that, it's supposed to look exactly the same no matter what resolution you're on. So you can actually add this to text and spacing no matter what. We might not see the change right now, but if we look at it in two different resolutions, we will see the change.